Well, hello there. This is Kristen Codes, and I'm coding every day until I become a web developer. And today we are still working on the Odin Project. These videos are going to probably start being a lot longer, um, and eventually probably even 4 hours long. I don't expect most people to watch all that. I'm just letting y'all know right now. But if you want to study along with me, I might start doing the Pomodoro stuff. So that'll be a cool thing. We can do Pomodoro technique type stuff. What is it? 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. Cycles. 25 minutes on, 5 minutes break. Okay. I want to start this off by saying that I have started creating a Discord. It's very bare minimum right now, but it's okay. It's gonna get better. Here it is though. It's very blank. I'm still setting it up, but I'll probably finish it tomorrow, and in tomorrow's video I'll say, hey, here's the link to add, or if you already know somebody in it, you can just get an invite from them. Yeah, there's only 5 people up in there right now. I want to start this off by saying, I'm gonna go on my little rant right quick. I notice a trend in people that have a certain degree of life experience in contrast to the degree of theoretical experience that they have. And what I mean by that is their actual, I guess what we would call street smarts. And the street smarts is not just the idea that you're in the city learning on the street, or that you're in the hood or something, but it's that applicable knowledge that you gain through actually doing. And that's what I mean, the living part. The living part is the doing part, the experiencing part, the actual moving around in the physical world, the actual interaction between us and other people and the world and things like that, and learning through that. What some colleges might call experiential learning, which I feel like is redundant, and it's like saying wet water. It should go hand in hand. It should be natural. And people who basically have this theoretical knowledge where they have come up in a way where they're doing everything in line. School, more school, more school, and then they see that this is how you do it this way, it's logical, and then job, hopefully job. And not everybody's path is that straight and clear cut. And I think for some people whose life has been very straight and clear cut, they haven't had huge family issues, huge romantic issues, huge social issues, huge hurdles that they've had to climb over, but besides academia and the natural things that come with academia, they tend to have a different view on life. They tend to see life in one way. They tend to truly be children of the internet. And I remember there was a time when being a child of the internet was kind of a cool thing at a time, but now it's kind of troubling, because it's almost like there was a time with the internet before there were these bubbles created for the incentive of big companies, these social bubbles that they put you in that categorizes you and then says, okay, we're going to shoot this advertisement towards you, and then compare it to other people who are similar and shoot the similar advertisements and videos to that. That can be beneficial in helping you find what you need to find, but it can also, I feel, create like this miniature universe where we're not thinking critically and we're afraid of other people's opinions, and we begin to have this cognitive distorted view on reality where it is extremely black and white, and the shades of gray are only circumstantial and for certain people at certain times, that, people in situations that we deem worthy, instead of um, just trying to look at the broader side of things, the broader picture. um and the more I move forward, the more I'm starting to realize, I'm like, okay, I see that. I can see that within them. Like when I begin to talk about the more nuanced parts of life, when I begin to talk about the things that you truly can't quantify, when I begin to talk about the lived experience, the living part of your life, the part that isn't methodical, the part that you can't truly measure, the part where measuring and doing all that really doesn't work. I see that there's a lot of people who fall short of that. You get a lot of people who are amazing at math, science, academia, but when it comes to the social pursuits, the thing that really gives, because again, the reason all of the things that you study exist is because of people. While it may have already existed in the universe, we definitely came along and provided some scaffolding so that we could all climb onto it, so that we could all understand it. And that's the beauty of it. Like without people, you wouldn't have anything in front of you. You wouldn't have most of the ideas that you have. You wouldn't um, be able to look and see this beautiful UI in front of you and look. I'm using OBS right now to record this video, and the way my glasses look, the way I cut my hair, the way this robe has a hoodie. That wasn't always the case. I don't think. I don't think robes off. This is the first robe I've ever had. So, um, but I'm not gonna say it's saddening, but I'm hoping that in a time where people have so much access, so much information, that they just don't go with the mainstream flow of things. And I sound like kind of like a hippie, but my goodness, I hope that people take advantage of this time and realize, like, you don't have to go with the grain of what other people are doing. You can literally have your own thing and it can be fun. You can explore, you can learn new things, and you can go new places and you can find new people. But it seems like in this era of endless opportunity and endless possibility, and where the entire range of human knowledge and experience is literally at our fingertips, one small rejection will throw people off the path. My goodness, one rejection in a sea of endless possibilities, in a sea of endless paths. There are people who came onto this planet who knew that they would live and die in the village or an adjacent village that they were birthed in. And now we have the option to literally in real time, I can Google what's happening in Japan. I can set up a trip there. I can try to go to Europe. I can try to go to Africa. I can try to go to all these, South America, Mexico, Canada, all these amazing places, right? China, whatever. I can go to all these amazing places. But I feel like myself and others have closed the possibilities. We've said, instead of taking advantage of those possibilities, we're going to wait for the perfect time. And I know I'm bouncing around here. It has, I've been having a lot of thoughts, and I've been just considering a lot, and I've been wondering, why did it take me so long to do certain things, and not in a harmful way or a punishing way, but in a trying to understand myself type way. I don't know why I waited. I guess I thought it had to be perfect. Not and then it's like I ignored, because YouTube has been around since, I was a teenager. I'm 34 now. So I can't remember the first time I used YouTube. My earliest memories of YouTube were, was I 16, 15, maybe younger. And I didn't realize that there were so many people online. They were just turning on the camera. They were literally just turning on the camera. And there was no, it wasn't perfect. There was no way it could be perfect. And now today, before people even turn on the camera, they're like, they have to have the perfect camera. They have to have the perfect lighting. They have to have the perfect setup and this and that. And I thought I had to have that too. I had this big curved monitor that I love. That thing tilted over one time, cracked. That's $100 and something or $200 something down the drain. Okay, so I'm back to these two monitors. One is slightly smaller than the other, and I love it better than that big old. And then I was like, oh, I have to have the perfect microphone. You know, this microphone used to be like on a little gimbal thing like this, like one of these things. This is actually a light. I was like, oh, I need a light. So I got a light. Is it plugged in? It's not even plugged in. I never needed all that stuff. Now, I will say that this camera was a great buy. The Facecam MK1, really good buy. But the point that I'm trying to make is that I never really needed all this stuff, and I just got it because I was like, I gotta make it perfect. And every time I would think about recording, I would start. Let me move this out of the way. Boop. Every time I would start recording, I'd be like, let me clean my room. Let me make it look nice. Let me do all of these amazing things, and let me go take a shower, and let me mop the floor, and let me set the ambiance of it all. Let me make it really perfect. And here I am on day 20, 24, 24 videos. And I didn't do any of that. I made the barrier to entry extremely low. I don't do editing. I'm not going to start doing it. Somebody said I should start doing it. I'm not going to do that. I should link y'all to a video. A gaming video that I did one time. I just don't think it's ever going to be perfect. And in regards to, this all has to do with the coding journey as well. In regards to coding, I just don't give a damn what other people, man, these constant videos on what's going on in the market, and oh, they're not hiring junior developers and this and that and the other. I don't know what's gonna happen. I really don't. But I know I'm gonna keep coding. I know there's gonna be a need for people like me. We can't all just leave it to, you know, Chat GPT, Anthropic, Claude, Copilot. We can't. Somebody has to know what's going on, right? Somebody does. There has to be a space for me in this a huge world. There has to be an opportunity for me, right? Hmm. You know, I was watching this thing where teachers were talking about how most of their children, most of the students that they have in the classroom these days, even in a high school setting, are reading in public schools are reading below grade level, and how so many people are leaning towards AI instead of trying to do the work themselves. And I feel like people, you know, and I think athletes are athletes, bodybuilders, people who go from fat to fit are perfect examples of like how you can see the end result and be so amazed at that. And somebody, I think it was this dude named, man, what is his name? Chris Williamson, something on YouTube. I watched a snippet of him recently. It was somebody he was interviewing saying that once people get to the point of success, that's when everyone starts congratulating them and saying, "Oh, you did amazing." But it was the process, it was the journey of getting to that point where they really needed that encouragement. But nobody's there during that process. That process is so ugly. It's so nasty. Like before I cut my dreads off, I had dreads like down to here. I cut them before I made my first video. And there's a stage. Some people call it the ugly stage of dreads, where your dreads are trying to figure out what they want to do in this reality. And nobody wants to be there for that part. Nobody wants to be there for the ugly, nasty, dirty part. They just want to congratulate you once you get there. And I think, like, that's what I think every time I see one of those ugly comments. I think they're funny at this point. I'm gonna start replying to them funny. Like, they had this one guy, he's always like, "Oh, here you go again. Stop learning, blah blah blah." I'm like, bro, it's always gonna be like this until I make it. Until I make it, it's gonna be bullshit. People are gonna be doubters until I actually make it. And when I make it, what will they say then? Oh, you were lucky. There's evidence of the work. What? There's evidence of the work. They'll always try to make it, find a way to be right. So I don't know what I'm talking about. This is just a rant. But I guess the TLDR of it is that I'm not about to give up. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to continue to build. I'm going to continue to study. I'm going to continue to work hard. I know it is a privilege to receive good days, but not good days are not always promised. There are a lot of days where it's going to be extremely difficult, and I'm not going to want to code, and I'm not going to want to get up out of the bed, and I'm going to feel like I'm not making progress. But I know that as soon as I turn on this camera, or as soon as I turn on this computer, and I begin to read this documentation, and I begin to do the Odin Project, and I begin to get those check marks, and I begin to get those green squares on GitHub, and I begin to upload and push and upload and commit and push and code and do all these things little by little, that is going to add up. In a year from now, I will not be in the same place. And I hope that when I get this Discord up and running, I want it to have an accountability section and a check-in section, so that people can kind of jump in and say, okay, yeah, this is where I am at this time. This is where I was at this time, and blah 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 this and blah 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 that. And we can begin to see the progress. So this was just a short rant. Was it a short rant? It was almost 20 minutes long. I guess I'm gonna start coding now. But I'm gonna tell y'all this. I know there's people who watch this and they're just like, "Oh man, this dude shouldn't be doing this." And then there's people who are very encouraging. I am in the chapter of my life where I'm willing to let the world rage and burn around me while I put my head down and work hard on my passions. Throughout my life, every step of the way, if you look at the news, every step of the way, there was some BS happening. Every step of the way, there was some war happening. There was some economy that was crashing. There was some economy that was rising. There was some horrible event, some great event, some event that changed people's lives for the best and some for the worst. There's been this natural disaster and this natural blessing and this discovery and that discovery and this setback and this breakthrough every step of the way. But the one thing that hasn't been constant in this entire timeline has been me. There has never been a me like this, quite like this. And this is my one opportunity to experience reality and to do my thing before the boogie is over. And I'm a boogie down. And so let's get to coding, y'all. Boop. Okay. Let's switch places with this. All right. So where are we? We are on the project library book thing, and I am going to make myself a little bit smaller. Should I put myself right here? Should I put myself right here? Sometimes I don't know where to put myself. I'm gonna put myself over here. All right. All right, this is what it looks like, but I'm about to go live again. So I decided to set it up as cards, and in those cards, we're gonna have different books that are gonna populate. So what I've done is I created a function called populate. Hold on, let me see. Is that the first thing we're gonna do? So we created an empty library array where all of our books are gonna go. Then I got access to the library element, which is the element that surrounds this. And I think if I do library element dot, hold up, can I do? Hold on. Why am I always so confused when I do this? Dot style dot background. Will this work? No. And now I have to learn. Man, I hate when I forget stuff. See, that should work. Library element dot style dot background color. But for some reason it doesn't. The auto. What if I do? That's very weird. What if I did something like this? Dot style. It doesn't even, hold on. Dot style. It doesn't even come up over there. That's crazy, man. Document dot get dot query selector library dot style. Why isn't style coming up? It's so weird to me. Dot style, and it keeps doing that. Dot style dot. I'm going crazy. Anyway, you know what? We're just gonna cross that bridge a little later. We're going to cross that bridge a little later. Okay. So anyway, the library element is right around here, which what I should have done is just gone here. So there you go. And then we have each individual book elements. We're gonna do those, make those green. Well, let's make it blue. Let's make it blue. I think blue is, see blue better. All right. So we got that. We got our book element. We got our empty array. We have our library element in red. We created a function or a constructor to create books. Then there's a function create add book to library. So it creates a book and then it adds it to whatever this is, the current library that we're using. Then I created a function called populate library, And populate library will take the title, author, and pages. And access the element, like these elements. So I created a lot of blue colors. So I could create red, orange, violet. I hope I spelled burgundy right. Burgundy and sapphire. See it pop it updated all these. So it create when you do populate library, first it clears the library and then it writes every book that's in the library array that you put in the. So I just created a few books. At first I thought I was gonna just try to style these and all that stuff. I'm not gonna try to do that right now. I want to focus on the functionality. I could get so lost in the sauce when it comes to making things look pretty, and I don't feel like doing that right now. So we should be on step 3. Write a function that loops through the array and displays each book on the page. You can display them in some sort of table or each on their own card. It might help for now to manually add a few books to your array so you can see the display. And we reform that. Okay. Add a new book button that brings up a form allowing users to input the details for the new book and add it to the library. Author, title, number of pages, whether it's been read, and anything else you might want. How you decide to display this form is up to you. For example, you may wish to have a form showing a sidebar, or you may wish to explore dialogues and modals using the dialogue tag. What is that? Yeah, okay, so why don't we do that first? Why don't we add a book on each display? Let's do that. So we have the book, we had a book info. Now I want to add a button that says remove. All right, so we got our remove button. Or what we could do is minus x. All right. So we got our X button, and we're gonna say class remove book. All right. So when we press this, we wanted to delete the parent. We wanted to delete the book. All right. So let's create a function remove book. Function remove book equals. Hold on, what did I just do? I'm crazy. Function remove book. So we're going to remove a book, and the book is going to be okay, hold on. Why don't we get, hold on, let me think. When we populate the library, before we append the child, why don't we, let's make sure, so it does come with a button already. So why don't we access that button and we say element new book element dot query selector button, no, remove book dot add um why isn't any of this working, man? Hmm. All right, let's see if this is working. All right. All right. How do I get the parent of the element? Oh, I don't even have to do that. I think it's dot remove. All right. So we got that. I think it removes it. All right, yeah. So that worked. All right. So what's the next thing we need to do? We need to add a new book element button. So why don't we, above the library, I think is the body display grid. All right. So we're gonna play a div. Um, um, let's just add a button for now. Why isn't it? Dot create book justify self. All right, there we go. With what the hell? That's weird. We're just gonna leave it right there for now. All right. Okay. So when we press this button, we want to add something to the library. Okay, and say write a function that looks through the array and displays each book on the page. You can display them, blah blah blah. Add a new book button that brings up a form, allowing users to input the details for the new book and add it to the library, author, title, number of pages, whether it's been read, and anything else you might want. How you decide to display this form is up to you. Interesting. Okay, so we're gonna introduce a modal. So let's learn about modals, and then it's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. All right, let's see. The dialog HTML element represents a modal or non-modal dialog box or other interactive components such as a dismissible alert, inspector, or subwindow. The HTML dialog element is used to create both modal and non-modal dialog boxes. Modal dialog boxes interrupt interaction with the rest of the page, being inert, while non-modal dialog boxes allow interaction with the rest of the page. JavaScript should be used to display the dialog element. Use the show modal method to display a modal dialog and the show method to display a non-modal dialog. The dialog box can be closed using the .close method or using the dialog method when submitting a form that is nested within the dialog element. Modal dialogs can also be closed by pressing the escape key. That's convenient. So here's the closed by. I'm assuming this is a function, and then you can put in any closed request or none. If the dialog element does not have a valid closed by value specified, then so my show behaves as a value. Okay. Open. Okay. Usage notes. HTML form elements can be used to close the dialog box if they have the attribute method dialog, or if the button used to submit the form as set. The CSS backdrop pseudo element can be used to style the backdrop of a modal dialog. Okay, that's cool. Okay. Okay, so let's see. This example demonstrates the creation of a non-modal dialog by using only HTML. Because of the Boolean open attribute in the dialog element, the dialog appears open when the page loads. The Boolean. Oh, you can just put hold on. Okay. That's cool. So open. Can I edit this? Okay. It says greetings one and all. All right, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Button okay. Form method dialog. Form dialog. Okay. Reload the page to reset the output. Okay. This dialog is initially open because of the presence of the open attribute. Dialogs that are displayed using the open attribute are non-modal. After clicking OK, the dialog gets dismissed, leaving the result frame empty. When the dialog is dismissed, there is no method provided to reopen it. For this reason, the preferred method to display non-modal dialogs is by using HTML dialog element.show method. It is possible to toggle the display of the dialog by adding or removing the Boolean open attribute, but it is not the recommended practice. Okay. Create a modal dialog. This example demonstrates a modal dialog with the gradient backdrop. The show modal method opens the modal dialog when the show the dialog button is activated. The dialog can be closed by pressing the escape key or via the close method when the close button within the dialog is activated. Oh, okay. So if I play this, okay, let's see what's going on because we got JS2. So we got dialog. So it automatically focuses on close. Okay. We can style the backdrop of the dialog by using the backdrop pseudo class. Okay. The dialog is opened modally using the show modal method and closed using the close or request close methods. So we get access to the dialog. We get access to the dialog button. That's a cool way to do that. That's a better way to select that. I think that's sibling selector. Close button equal document.query selector dialog button. Show.button.add event listener click dialog.show modal. Okay. Close button.add event listener click dialog.close. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, that's cool. When the modal, hold on, I can also press escape, right? Oh, yep. When the modal dialog is displayed, it appears above any other dialogues that might be present. Everything outside the modal dialog is inert, and interactions outside the dialog are blocked. Notice that when the dialog is open, with the exception of the dialog itself, interaction with the document is not possible. To show the dialog button is mostly obfuscated by the almost opaque backdrop of the dialog and is inert. Handling the return value from dialog. This example demonstrates the return value of the dialog element and how to close a modal dialog by using a form. By default, the return value is the empty string or the value of the button that submits the form within the dialog element, if there is one. This example opens a modal dialog when the show the dialog button is activated. The dialog contains a form with a select and two button elements, which default to type equals submit. An event listener updates the value of the confirm button when the select option changes. If the confirm button is activated to close the dialog, the current value of the button is the return value. If the dialog is closed by pressing the cancel button, the return value is canceled. When the dialog is closed, the return value is displayed under the show the dialog button. If the dialog is closed by pressing the escape key, the return value is not updated and the close event doesn't occur, so the text in the output is not updated. Okay. Okay, so we have a form, form, form. And in that form, we have a label. We have a select, which I have never used options. Then we have a button value equals cancel, form method equals dialog, button ID. Then we have another button. Well, let's play that. Okay. Select option, 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 option. Label. Favorite animal. P. Oh, it's all in a P. Enter. I didn't know. Okay. Button value cancel. Button ID equal confirm button. Value equal cancel. Okay. So we have the show button. We have the dialogue, which is this whole thing. We have the output box, which is this. We have the select element, selector, select, select, we have the confirm button. Why didn't he just choose it by ID? It doesn't matter. Why? I don't know. Anyway, show the dialog button opens the dialog modally. Show button that added event listener click. Show the modal. So when that means that when we go here and we press that, it shows. Okay, and then the cancel button closes the dialog without submitting because of form method equal dialog, triggering a close event. I've never used this one right here. It triggers a close event. Interesting. And it triggers a close event because of form method dialog. Okay. Form method dialog. Output box dot value equals true or false. So okay, so output box dot value. Okay, there's so many things with HTML. So we got the output. Where are we? Okay, yeah. So we got the output box dot value equals fave dialog dot return value equal default. If that's true, there's no return value, and if it's default, that means we press the confirm button. Hold on, I'm not understanding. Hold on, this rests upon return value. Is a string representing the return value of a dialog element when it's closed. You can set the value directly dialog.return value equal result, or by providing the value as a string argument to close or request close. Hold on, I don't understand. So okay. Okay, so select element. That query selector select. See, that's what I don't understand. How is the value? Maybe I'm missing something. When this is selected, how where's this being? So property of the HTML dialog element. And so when we press select, does every element have a value? Okay. Let's see. So the return value is going to be automatically this right here. And that's going to be placed inside the HTML dialog element. How do I get the information from this form then? Mm, okay, that's how I thought. Okay, because I'm not about to do all that extra stuff. This is how I thought it was done. I'm second guessing myself. Okay, let's start creating this thing. I think I've studied enough. Is the action dialogue method? I really need to learn forms. So let's say, what information do we need? We need title, author, pages, ID. All right. Label times 4. Are y'all gonna do this? What are you gonna do? Are y'all gonna no? We're just gonna stack like that? Okay. Okay, cool. So we don't have any 4s. Boop. And we need, let's see, input type equal text. Okay. So this is gonna be title, author. Is that the order? Title, author, pages, ID. And we're gonna have an input type text, input type text, input, the type is not text. Do I put number? Yeah. Input type text, nope, number. And we are going to say that all of this is required. Um, what does that look like? Let's go to open. Oh wow, it's not even in the middle of the page. Weird. So I guess, hold on, they talked about this. You gotta add the backdrop CSS. Oh, we will get to that. Okay. So at least we got our modal up here. And we can add certain things. But now what we need is a button, an input, input type submit. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Hey, input. I would have rather did this in JavaScript by myself, like instead of using the dialogue element, honestly. And I think that's what I might do. I might create my own modal. I don't want to use the dialogue and modals thing. I can add my own backdrop. I can do all this extra shit by myself. So why don't we just do that? Because I don't like none of this. And we will do this later. So I will create a div. I'll create a div, call modal. a div called modal, and in that div we're going to have a form. And in that form, we're going to have 4 labels. Let's make these labels look nice. I don't know why Prettier is doing that. All right. And so we have that label. So, and then we're gonna have label and then input. Title, author, title, author, what was it? I'm going blank. Title, author, label, pages, and ID. And in that, we're going to call it new book form. And maybe we should give these classes too. Lovely. Title. Author. Oh, don't I already have that? Yeah, I already have that. Why don't I put text input? Author input. No. Okay, let's just leave it like that for now. But what we do need to add is required. Okay, and we do need to give these inputs. All right. And now when we go to our library project, it should be sitting right there. Yay. And then I'm going to target the modal. And I'm going to say width 500 pixels. And hold up. Hmm. Hmm. I want it to be center, but I also want it to be just something I'm not understanding. I'm not doing right because I want these to be. I want these to be on the same thing. Mm, hmm. Oh man. Please don't tell me I gotta do this. I just want them to be right there. Anyway, we're gonna move on. I'm gonna get stuck here forever getting mad at this. But when I run into stuff like this, I feel like I have to do it or I'm gonna get mad at myself. So which I know I can just do. All right, we didn't need that justify content really. It's just that. All right. Okay. And then we need a. That took way too long. Then we need input type submit. Okay. So now that we got that, let's just see. That's why I should not focus on getting things pretty. I should have just focused on the functionality. But I'll get caught, and it's not like it's gonna be pretty right now anyway. It's kind of ugly. So let me just focus on getting it working. Okay. Um, Number one, why don't we let's grab that submit button. So what we're gonna do is const what did we call this? We're gonna call it new book form. New book form equal document dot no. I want to add an ID to that. All right, so we got that. The next thing we need to do is const submit button equals new book form dot get a query selector, and we want all right. So when the submit button is clicked, we want to oh, we already got, see, we already got that. We can just call but in here we need to add a few things. So we're going to say hold on, text. All right. I won't lie, that text message distracted me. All right. So what we need to do is create add book to library. And we need to enter in the information. So I want to get the information from the form. So I want to say the first one. All right. Okay. So, like I was saying, we need the book title. Oh my God. So we need the value from these inputs. And these inputs have IDs, well, classes. So I'm going to say well, first I want to do e dot prevent default. Let's start there. And then when we add these books, we need the title, the author, the pages. The ID, which is gonna, I guess I thought we were gonna make a, you know what, I should just let it make its own ID, but I'm gonna allow people to make whatever ID they want. And then the current library. So we're gonna say the title is going to be new book form dot query selector dot input title dot value. Why are you doing that? Is it dot text content? Okay, so that's right. It's a string. Okay. It's a string. All right. So now that we know that's a string, I'm pretty sure all of them are coming in as strings. Well, except okay, so that's a string too. I'll just have to make it into a number. All right. Is it math dot? Is it input ID? All right. So, whoa. If I do something like blue, the author is Chris, the pages is 5, and the ID is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I press submit. Oh. All right, that's better. And let's remove this. So I want to add a book. No. We're going to call it Blue Colors by Chris. Here's 5 pages. The ID is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Submit. I have to do that? Are you confused? Do you not know what to do? Oh, I didn't add anything. Oh no. Blue, Chris, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Submit. 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 That's weird. The submit button is no longer working. Hold on. Add event listener on form submit. I know I did that right. Oh, I'm crazy. I forgot to populate the library. So we got blue, we got Chris, we got 5, we got submit. Yay! Yay! And we can keep adding books and we can delete them. This is basically the bare minimum of it. Oh, and we need to change this red status. Alrighty. I think we're gonna leave off right here. This has been an hour and 50 minutes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a good ass night. I'm gonna go sit down somewhere. I'm gonna lay down. My anxiety is high right now for whatever reason. So I am gonna go chill. I'm gonna go lay down. This project is almost finished. I'm gonna add the finishing touches. I know we're going slow. I feel like slow and steady wins the race in these things because you're seeing my process of learning as I go. Because there's a lot of things I'm confused about sometimes, and then I just have to Google them and all different types of stuff. So I'm about to push this to GitHub. Let's see. Terminal, new terminal. Oops. And does it matter if y'all see this? I don't know if it necessarily matters, but I'm just gonna put me big right here. Boop. All right, so this has been pushed. We are finished. So basically that project is finished, but it looks butt ugly. I don't know if I should continue or if I should stop, or I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. But either way, going forward, make things look pretty at the end. Make them functional and ready to use at the beginning. This shouldn't have took 2 hours. It should have took like 30 minutes. But I was learning about modals, which, I mean, that's cool that now I know about modals and all that stuff, but I don't like how not easy it is to use. And I would rather just do it with plain old JavaScript. It makes it a lot easier. I would rather do it with plain old JavaScript than go through the whole modal HTML stuff. I would rather add my own backgrounds and learn how to do all that stuff and just do it myself, because while I get, yeah, we're semantic and we're adding things that are commonly used on websites, but why does it feel so complicated to use? Or maybe in the explanation, like I feel like there should just be, and there already is, but the documentation is just complicated. And so I feel like there should just be one big object that handles input, and I don't know. It looks like there already is the HTML select element or whatever. Anyway, I am going to go lay down, go shower, doom scroll because I deserve it. I am going to doom scroll. I'm quitting video gaming. I haven't gamed. You know, honestly, it hasn't affected me. I haven't gamed. I've had the urge to game, but I haven't gamed. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go sit my butt down. All right. All right. So y'all have a wonderful one. I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye bye.